Good morning. Happy Monday. Welcome to your early morning intuitive guidance. I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum, here with some words of wisdom to start your day off well. And let's take a nice deep breath in together. Hold and release. Just dropping your shoulders, wiggling a little bit, hearing if there's any creaks or cracks in there today. Just getting us all set for this message for today, which is a really powerful message and very wisdom-based, I would say. That would be the way I'd put it, wisdom-based. Good morning to whomever just popped on. Glad you are here. Welcome. It's Beth. You are the first one here today. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So, as I was saying, this particular message, I think, is a way to rethink the things we feel are fixed in our lives and to bring in higher order ways of looking at them. Hello, Chrissy. Glad you are here. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. So those of you who are popping on, know that there's something in this message for you. So we'll do a little bit of adjustments, shall we say, to get us in a place of maximum receptivity to this message. Because a lot of us have learned resistance to it. So the yeah buts and the what ifs are likely to be flying around in your head as we talk about this. Good morning, Abigail. Glad you're here. Looks like someone else has popped on also. Joe Neal, good morning. Good morning, good morning. So, and Chrissy, your name just rolled twice. So that says there's something powerful here. Went to Stonington. Oh, awesome, awesome, awesome. Good morning, Ruth Ann. Welcome. Glad you're here. Some interesting things, sad things going on in my life at the moment. But I think I have to wait another day before we can talk about it because not everyone knows yet. So, my dad's fine. He's fine. Struggling with this information, but yeah. So, for today, let's do a little tapping and a little breath just to prep ourselves for this message because it's a Tosha Silver message, and you know Tosha's messages. They sneak in the back door to enlighten us. That's how I'd say it. So, a little bit of tapping and some breath. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Letting go of all that no longer serves you. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Good morning, Barb. Welcome. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Good morning, Angie. Thank you for the sparkles. Hello, Nancy. Everybody's starting to roll in. This is good. This is good. Thank you, Joe Neal. I appreciate it. We'll probably be able to talk about it tomorrow. We'll see. And Chrissy, there's your name the third time. So, third time's a charm. This message has big stuff for you. All right. So, coming from outrageous openness, letting the divine take the lead. We don't have to run our show. We can follow the guidance. Letting the divine take the lead. So the chapter, if you have the book, some of the books are not numbered the same as my book is numbered, but in my book it's page 179, and it's called The Higher Octave. The Higher Octave. And as I always say, if there's two quotes at the beginning of a chapter, it's a really good chapter. So in this one, we have a quote from Louis Armstrong and one from P. Lowe, L-O-W-E. So the Louis Armstrong quote is, if you don't know it, you can't blow it. And for those of you who don't know, he was a musician, trumpeter. So the P. Lowe quote is, I am available for anything that wants to happen in this moment, including that which is beyond imagining. So that's about expansiveness. That's about seeing beyond perceived limitations. Hear that again. It's about perceiving beyond limitations. We assume that we are limited. We assume that there are things that can and cannot happen. Well, I can't do that because I'm too old, too young, too fat, too skinny, too this, too that, not enough of this, blah, 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 blah. All the things, right? Don't have enough money, don't have enough time, don't have enough energy, all the things. This chapter is to get you to look at those things and say, yeah, maybe not. Maybe that's all self-imposed garbage. The higher octave. The other day, a teenage friend was saying how all of her current problems came from her sign. You're an astrologer, she said, so you know how all Scorpios are envious, right? We're controlling, vindictive, ruthless. That's just how it goes. We want what we want. Good God, girl, I said, laughing and throwing my arm around her shoulder. What bad astrology books have you been reading? You're just describing the worst of your sign, like a Pluto remainder item you'd get in the dollar bin at Walmart. There are higher octaves, you know. So for all of us, there are higher octaves, you know. Scorpio, in fact, has 3 forms, with the lowest being the stinging scorpion she described. But as the sign evolves and purifies, the energy of the eagle emerges, bestowing clarity, vision, and courage. And eventually, the phoenix, the magical bird with the power of rebirth, arises from the ashes. No phoenix wastes her time on resentments and revenge when she can be joyously, exuberantly soaring around the sun. So can you see the difference? It may be the same emphasis, but the focus shifts to a different octave, a different level of functioning. In any given lifetime, the vast reservoirs of power all Scorpios have can be used to reach one of these more elevated expressions, or can be wasted on retribution and vendettas. And I can think of one person who is living down to that. Yeah, wow. But every sign has a high and low frequency, and nothing in a chart is inherently bad. Everyone has potential luminosity and grace. Hear that again. Every astrological sign, every chart, your birth chart, your natal chart, has potential luminosity and grace. How do you choose to manifest this? How do you choose to be the vessel through which this energy manifests? In fact, she's talking about her own chart now. My own has 16 squares, which in classical astrology would have been called afflicted beyond belief. But a reader told me early on, use your potential wisely. All those squares give a ton of energy. You'll either be really helpful to people or a little nuts, or both. In a way, we're each here to express the music of our soul. So if yours sounds like jazz, then be jazz. If it's shahuhachi flute, be that. If Black Sabbath, then what the hell? How did you find this book anyway? Sometimes I think we're drawn to the music in a given lifetime that we literally are, that carries our unique nature. So pay attention. What's the music you're drawn to? What's the music that you listen to? The music that I love and sing the loudest to is stuff that really does reflect who I am and how I am. Okay. Astrology gives a miraculous lens into each individual's divine perfection. Then the culture's silly fixation on competition and comparison falls away. No need to compare yourself to anyone. You just did your natal chart. That's fabulous. That's fabulous. In fact, you might just shudder at the thought. Your own karma is plenty. Your own karma is plenty. You know, what am I here to learn? And previously in the book, she talked about there are those people who build up a whole lot of karma in a particular lifetime and then spend a couple of lifetimes cleaning up the mess. And there are others who have a very short turnaround on their karma. So they do something that's questionable and almost immediately get their feedback. So she tells a story about having, as a teen, young 20-something, sideswiped a car a little bit and said to herself, well, it's a whatever it was, a Beamer or whatever. They're rich. They can afford it, blah, blah. Next day she came out and her car windows were smashed and her stereo was stolen. Those things are probably linked. Yes, your own karma is plenty. Absolutely plenty. And here's the thing. When we are the open, receptive human being with the spiritual connection, we can learn our lessons relatively quickly. And they don't need to hit us between the eyes like a ball-peen hammer. We can learn our lessons kindly and gently by being as open as possible to receiving them. It is when we balk at the information, or we resist, or we get the same message 10 times and we refuse to open the envelope, that's when things get ratcheted up. So choosing to move into those higher order depictions of our natal chart is so wise. So now, Jonille, you have a chart. It would be interesting to go to several readers and see what they pick out in your chart, see what they tell you, because the gifts of the readers can make all the difference in how you look at your chart. And each reader, my experience has been, each reader has the particular things that she or he focuses on. Some people are very focused on the squares. Some people are very focused on the female planets, how all the female planets line up in your chart. Lots of interesting ways to look at a chart. And when you first look at your own chart, you're going to go, I have no idea what all these little things are telling me. One thing to pay attention to is there a house in which many of them are clustered? In mine, I'm terrible at this stuff, but my friend Kayleen, who does readings for me, will say, well, you've got this and this and this. And I'm going, oh yeah, I remember you telling me that. I don't keep the stuff in my head. But a boatload of planets were in one house when I was born. And as she described what to her that all meant, it made perfect sense with who I am. Absolutely perfect sense with who I am. So, your question for today, your mission for today, should you choose to accept it, is don't dwell in the lower energy vibration of your sign. Choose to rise up into those higher levels of beingness in that particular natal chart. So we let go of all of the, oh my God, I'm a this and it means that. And we look at, what are the nuances here? What are the subtleties? What are the possibilities of me in this particular configuration? Ask questions. Talk to some people. Show them your chart. Have someone else do another chart, because there are different settings that can be created in the chart. Some people will just give you the basic chart. Some people will give you the feminine perspectives. All kinds of different ways to print the chart, read the chart, absorb the chart. So, but for today, what we're being called to do is to rise into that higher octave, to really look at what's the highest expression of this, and what do I need to let go of to rise to it? What do I need to cultivate to rise to it? I think that'll be a good thing for us to think about today. Have an awesome day. We'll see you again tomorrow. Remember, you're capable of far more than you think you are. Bye-bye.